10 real events that humans can't explain. Have you ever felt like the world is hiding something? Not in a conspiracy theory way, but in a chilling, unexplainable, what on earth just happened kind of way. What if I told you there are places where ships vanish without a trace, signals from space no one can identify, and fires that have been burning for over 50 years without ever going out? What if there are cats that predict death, maps that show continents before they were discovered, and a man from a country that never existed? These aren't stories from sci-fi movies or urban legends whispered in the dark. These are real events, real phenomena, and to this day, no one can fully explain them. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear might make you question everything you thought you knew about our world. This is 10 real-life mysteries that science still can't explain. Let's begin with one of the most chilling places on the planet. The Bermuda Triangle. Even the name sounds like it belongs in a horror story. This mysterious stretch of ocean lies between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, and it's become infamous for one thing. Things go in and never come out. Over the years, hundreds of ships and planes have vanished here. Not just crashed, disappeared. No distress calls, no debris, no clues. One of the most famous cases, Flight 19. In December 1945, 5 U.S. Navy bombers took off on a training mission. Experienced pilots, clear skies, and then nothing. Radio contact was lost. The entire squadron vanished. A rescue plane was sent, and it vanished too. Just like that, 6 planes, gone. Some blame magnetic anomalies that mess with navigation instruments. Others think it's violent weather, rogue waves, or underwater earthquakes. But then there are the wilder theories. Time portals, alien abductions, underwater cities like Atlantis. What really happened to Flight 19? Why do ships and planes disappear without leaving a single trace? No one knows. And maybe that's the scariest part. August 15, 1977. A regular night at Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope, until something very unusual happened. A 72-second burst of radio energy came from deep space. It wasn't random noise. It wasn't from a satellite. It was different, clear, focused, powerful. Astronomer Jerry Eman, who reviewed the signal printout later, was so stunned. He circled the data and wrote just one word next to it: wow. And so, it became known as the WOW signal. To this day, it's one of the strongest candidates for extraterrestrial communication ever recorded. It came from the direction of the Sagittarius constellation. It matched what scientists expected an intelligent signal might sound like. But here's the twist. It never repeated, never came back. No one has ever heard anything like it since. Some say it was just a cosmic coincidence. Others believe it was a ping, a single message from intelligent life beyond Earth. Was it aliens saying hello? Or was it the universe teasing us with a mystery we'll never solve? Either way, we're still listening. In the heart of Turkmenistan, in the middle of a vast desert, there's a hole. But not just any hole. It's about 70 meters wide, constantly burning, and it has one terrifying nickname: the door to hell. Back in 1971, Soviet geologists were drilling for gas when their rig collapsed into a massive underground cavern. To prevent a deadly gas leak, they decided to set it on fire, expecting it to burn out in a few days. Spoiler alert, it didn't. More than 50 years later, it's still burning, day and night, through sandstorms and snow. Why hasn't it gone out? Nobody knows for sure. Some say the underground gas reserves are far larger than expected. Others believe the ground structure is trapping the heat. Whatever the reason, it's become a fiery tourist attraction. Glowing bright orange in the middle of the desert. Standing near the edge, you can feel the intense heat and hear the roaring flames like a dragon breathing from underground. The ground collapsed, the fire started, and now it burns endlessly. If there was a gate to the underworld, this might be it. Imagine lying in bed at night. The house is quiet. The street is silent, but you keep hearing a low, constant humming sound, like an engine running in the distance. You check your appliances, nothing. You ask your neighbors, they don't hear anything. That strange, low-frequency sound you hear? It's called the hum, and it's been reported all over the world in the US, UK, Canada, New Zealand, and more. What's so bizarre is that only some people can hear it. Others hear nothing at all. Those who do hear it describe it as maddening, a buzzing, rumbling, or throbbing sound that never stops. Some say it's worse indoors, some say it follows them. People have moved houses, worn earplugs, even soundproofed their rooms, but the hum keeps coming. Scientists have investigated for decades. Theories include low-frequency industrial noise, underground seismic activity, auditory hallucinations, even mass psychological effects. But here's the problem. No consistent source has ever been found. Is the hum real, or is it something deeper? Something in our brains, or maybe something else entirely? Whatever it is, if you've never heard the hum, consider yourself lucky. Here's a real-life mystery that sounds like it came from a sci-fi movie. In the 1950s, a man arrived at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. He looked normal. His passport looked real. But here's the twist. His passport was from a country that doesn't exist. It said he was from Toward, a nation no one had ever heard of. The customs officers were confused. He pointed to a map and showed them where his country should be, exactly where Andorra is today. He insisted Toward had existed for centuries. He even had official documents, stamps, and bank info to prove it. Authorities detained him in a hotel room overnight while they investigated. They placed guards outside, but the next morning, he was gone. No trace, no escape. All his documents, gone too. The room was locked from the outside. No one saw him leave. So who was he? A time traveler? A visitor from a parallel universe? Or just a conman with the most elaborate prank in history? We'll probably never know. But one thing's certain. The man from Toward has become one of the strangest airport stories ever recorded. At a nursing home in Rhode Island, there lived a cat named Oscar. To the staff, Oscar seemed like a normal cat, independent, calm, not overly friendly. But then they started to notice something chilling. Whenever a patient was close to death, Oscar would quietly enter their room, curl up beside them, and stay with them until they passed away. Not once, not twice, but over 100 times. Doctors and nurses were stunned. Oscar seemed to know, before anyone else, when someone was about to die. The cat's eerie accuracy became so reliable that staff would notify families. Once Oscar entered a patient's room, he was almost never wrong. So how did he do it? Some experts believe animals can detect chemical changes or smells in the human body before death. Others think it was pure coincidence. But ask the people who worked with Oscar. They'll tell you it was something more. Something they couldn't explain. A cat who could sense the end. Creepy, yes, but also strangely comforting. March 8, 2014. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 takes off from Kuala Lumpur, heading to Beijing. 239 people are on board. The weather is fine. The systems are normal. But just 1 hour into the flight, it vanishes. Radar contact is lost. No distress signals. No emergency alerts. The plane is just gone. Over the weeks and months that followed, one of the largest search efforts in aviation history began. Pieces of the plane were eventually found, thousands of miles from where it was supposed to be. But why did it go off course? What happened on board? Some theories suggest mechanical failure or a cockpit emergency. Others suggest hijacking or pilot sabotage. A few even point toward more outlandish ideas, like black holes or alien abduction. Years later, we still don't know the full story. And for the families of the victims, the hardest part isn't just the loss, it's the not knowing. MH370 remains one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in modern history. A plane and 239 lives disappeared into thin air, and the world is still asking how. In 1929, a mysterious map was discovered in a library in Istanbul. It was drawn in 1513 by an Ottoman admiral named Piri Reis. At first glance, it looks like a typical ancient map of the world. But then, experts noticed something odd. It showed Antarctica, centuries before it was officially discovered. Even more puzzling, the continent was shown without ice. Today, Antarctica is buried under thick layers of ice, making it nearly impossible to map without advanced satellite imaging. So how did a 16th century sailor draw it so accurately? Some historians believe the map was based on older sources, maybe from ancient civilizations that had far more advanced knowledge than we think. Others think it's just a coincidence or a misinterpretation. But there are more strange details. The map includes parts of South America with unusual precision, coastlines that weren't officially mapped until hundreds of years later. Was Piri Reis in possession of secret ancient knowledge? Did forgotten civilizations chart the Earth long before we gave them credit? Or is the map just a historical accident that we're reading too much into? Whatever the answer, the Piri Reis map continues to baffle researchers and challenge what we thought we knew about our past. For decades, UFOs, unidentified flying objects, were dismissed as fantasy, crazy talk, stuff from movies and conspiracy theorists. But then, something unexpected happened. In 2020, the U.S. Department of Defense officially released videos taken by Navy pilots, showing flying objects that defied the laws of physics. These objects moved at incredible speeds. They changed direction instantly. They had no visible propulsion, no wings, no exhaust. And the Pentagon confirmed, "We don't know what they are." Let that sink in. These weren't grainy videos from amateurs. These were trained military pilots. One of them famously said, "I don't know what I saw, but it was not from this world." Are they experimental aircraft, drones, weather phenomena, or is it finally proof that we're not alone? Governments have started taking the phenomenon more seriously. New offices have been created to investigate. Reports are being declassified, but the mystery remains. We've looked to the stars for signs of life. Now, maybe, just maybe, they're already here. Getting struck by lightning once is rare. Getting struck twice, that's unbelievably unlucky. But what about 7 times? Meet Roy Sullivan, a U.S. park ranger in Virginia, and the Guinness World Record holder for most lightning strikes, survived by one person. Between 1942 and 1977, Roy was struck by lightning 7 different times. He survived every single one. He was hit while fishing, while driving, even inside a ranger station. His hair was set on fire. His shoes were blown off. But somehow, he kept walking away. Scientists say the odds of being struck once in a lifetime are about 1 in 15,000. The odds of being struck 7 times, astronomical. People called him the human lightning rod. Some believed he was cursed. Others thought he was chosen. Roy himself believed it was just fate and never stopped working in the wild. Sadly, his life ended not from lightning, but from heartbreak. Still, his story lives on as one of the strangest, real-life survival tales ever recorded. A man who defied the storm. From vanishing planes to mysterious signals from space. From maps that shouldn't exist to cats that predict the end. Our world is full of mysteries. Some will be solved, others may never be. But maybe that's what makes life so fascinating. Not everything needs an answer. Sometimes, the questions are what keep us searching. If these stories amazed you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. And who knows, maybe one day you'll uncover a mystery of your own.